Welcome to cooking cheap, easy, and tasty meals. Today I'm going to make my favorite oatmeal cookie, which is a thin, crispy oatmeal scotchy. The only difference between it and a regular oatmeal cookie is that I'm going to add butterscotch morsels. So the first thing I'm going to do is whip my butter. I have softened it so to make it a little easier to work with. That looks pretty good. I'm going to add a cup of packed brown sugar. I'm going to do it half a cup at a time. That's half a cup. Okay, another half cup. Okay. Uh-oh. Got a hard ball of brown sugar. We'll have to crunch it up a little bit. This is half a cup of golden granulated sugar. It's got a little molasses in it, so it's going to be a little richer tasting than plain granulated sugar. Do the same job though. Now, you don't have to use butterscotch morsels in this. You could, of course, use pecans, walnuts, or chocolate chips, or even cinnamon chips if you wanted. I just happen to like butterscotch chips. Next thing we're going to do is add the eggs. If you're unsure about your eggs, or if you're unsure about them breaking evenly, you may want to use a bowl to break them in, but these eggs pretty much always break evenly and are always good. Now let's wipe this down a little bit, make sure we're getting mixed well. I want to mix it till it's pretty smooth. Although I think with oatmeal cookies it doesn't make a whole lot of difference. I'm going to add about a teaspoon of vanilla. Probably a little more than a teaspoon, but I like vanilla. I'm going to add a teaspoon of cinnamon, half a teaspoon at a time. Probably a little more, but the cinnamon works well with the oatmeal cookie. And I'm going to add half a teaspoon of ground cardamom. That'll give it a little extra flavor. Cardamom and cinnamon go really well together. Now I'm going to add 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, half a cup at a time. And while I'm doing this, I'm going to add a teaspoon baking powder, so I'm sure it gets mixed in while I'm doing this. And I'm going to add about a half teaspoon of salt. Now, I use salted butter, so I really probably don't need to add as much salt as I would normally add. I'm gonna add a little less than that. But be aware that if you add salt, if you're using salted butter, you might want to cut back on the salt. Okay, that's the second half cup. And finally, the third half cup. Okay, and I'm gonna stir this down a little bit while I'm at it, just to make sure I'm getting everything mixed. Next thing we're gonna add is the rolled oats. Now I'm gonna add 1.5 cups of rolled oats. And 1/4 cup of quick oats. It'll change the mixture just enough to make it a little different texture. I'm adding 1/2 cup of butterscotch morsels. Make sure that I get the oatmeal mixed and the morsels mixed in really well. Looks pretty good. So, okay. I'm going to take it, scrape down the beaters. And as I've said before, flour is raw. You really should not lick the beaters. I know when you were growing up, if you were like me, that was the best thing to have. But the truth is, I trusted the foods more at that point than I do now. The oversight seems to have slipped if you look at all the recalls and everything. So I'm a little less trusting of even the food that I used to trust. So just to be safe, I'm going to not lick it and encourage you not to. Too many recalls lately, just for my taste. Okay, so now we have a nice dough. Looks like it's mixed well. Got a nice texture to it. I'm gonna cover it and put it in the refrigerator for a little while, and then I'm gonna make cookies. So the dough's been in the refrigerator, it's cool. I'm gonna lay out some cookies and we'll give them plenty of room since they look like they're gonna spread. We'll see how much they spread. It's supposed to be thin and crispy, so I have a feeling that means they're gonna spread fairly wide. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm gonna put it in a 360-degree oven. I think my 350 is really 360 in my oven. So you may have to experiment. It's supposed to be 350 for 12 minutes, but I'm gonna bet it's gonna be, in my oven, it's gonna be 360, 375 for 15 minutes, but we'll find out. Okay, the cookies have had a chance to cool, so I'm going to take them off of here. Actually, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull them off. Oh, maybe they'll come up that easy. Oh, they're coming off that easy. I let them cool, so I guess they're going to come off fairly easy. I don't have to make a big production about getting them off. So that worked right. So that was 8 cookies, and they spread about like I expected. So we're going to let them cool some more, but I think they're probably cooled about like they are going to be. They're more chewy probably than crisp. I think I'm going to freeze the rest of them, but I noticed that the edges are brown. It might be that it'd be good to have it brown a little bit more to give them a little more crispness. So, but otherwise the cookies are delicious. So I hope you try them and I hope you enjoy them. They're pretty crunchy. Not bad. Butterscotch makes it. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and give us a like. Thank you.